It's been almost a year since I left biomedical engineering, and if you're new here, I do have a PhD in biomedical engineering, but now I'm a full-time content creator, but specifically travel. So I'm not traveling right now because that is part of most of my job. But since I'm at home, I'm gonna take you guys through what a normal day in my life is like when I'm not traveling and what I do when I'm here in LA. It is 8 a.m. and I'm gonna get my morning routine started. I normally work from home, but today I am going to go to a coffee shop just so I can get out a bit and get some fresh air because I've been in this apartment for the last few days. Every now and again, I force myself to leave my apartment and get some fresh air, but I typically start with a cup of tea and reading. I get books sent to me by publishers to review them, so I just started this book a few days ago. This book is probably gonna go on my worst books of 2024 list this year. It's just very bland. Like I don't have any other words to describe it other than I'm bored. And I am 147 pages in. It started out okay, not good, okay. And yeah, I'm totally just not feeling it. You've probably noticed, but I haven't changed out of my pajamas, and that's because I like to stay in them in the morning while I'm making breakfast, doing my morning routine, and reading my morning pages. Then I'll get dressed and change into my outfit for the day. So you're probably watching this wondering why I even decided to quit engineering a year ago, and I already made a post on that, which is on this playlist. The most common question that I get now that it's been a year of me no longer being an engineer and now being a full-time creator is, do I regret it? Would I go back? Or is there anything that I miss about engineering? Like those tend to be like the top 3 questions. I obviously can't tell the future, so I don't know if there's any way I will be going back. However, I do not regret leaving engineering at all. My mental health has been at an all-time high since I left, and there's literally no reason for me to go back, especially since I'm in such a mentally safe space and I haven't felt like this since I graduated college, I guess. So some of the positives of being a full-time creator is that I can obviously wake up when I want, I can do what I want, I can work for whoever I want on different projects and gigs, and I like that a lot. But one of the major things that I really miss about being in that engineering space is having intellectually stimulating conversation with other people. What I've come to learn in the last year is that a lot of people on the internet, like full-grown adults, I'm not talking about kids, do not have critical thinking skills and also do not have reading comprehension skills. I just think it's really sad, especially because a lot of TikTok teacher creators have been talking about how kids just don't have the reading comprehension skills that they need to. And although I don't work with children, I do recognize that every single day with adults. The best way I can describe it is everyone has had that coworker that just doesn't understand simple tasks or simple concepts. Like, and it gets to a point where you look at that person and just wonder, how the hell did you even get this job? Like, those are the people that are on the internet and in the comment section demanding that you respond to them with a question that you've already answered in the video or in the caption. Even though I really wasn't interested in a lot of conversation that went on in my engineering career before I left, I miss having those regular day-to-day conversations that even if it was something like pop culture or everyday news, the people that I worked with would have something to contribute that was not only informative, but also you could tell that there was thought put into what they said and how they said it. I didn't realize this before, but apparently that is a skill that a lot of people do not have. So yeah, that's something that I miss. So even though I don't think I'm gonna go back to engineering at this point, I am trying to put myself in more situations where I can regularly interact with people that are intellectually aligned with me while also having similar career paths or career goals that I do. In a lot of ways, working as a creator online has really opened my eyes to what we as a society have not achieved, because when I was in my engineering career, I was essentially in this bubble of highly educated people that were just well informed. Even if they weren't well informed, but knew how to ask questions to become informed, and also knew how to seek out different resources to achieve their desired goal, which in that case would be being informed about something. Obviously, everyone on the internet doesn't have those skills. And a lot of times, like, you don't know if you're talking to someone that is an adult versus a child versus like a teenager or someone who's just trying to be a troll. Just the fact that people would think it's even okay to like make some of the comments that they make goes to show like how we as a society have developed in the last few years, especially with technology being at the forefront of our lives. Because I would think that if I had a question, or if anyone had a question, instead of being a troll in the comment section, you would just open up Google and type in some keywords to figure out the answer. Coming from an engineering background, I obviously had a different take on what people were like what adults were like in the entire world, because I just didn't interact with people outside of my engineering bubble on a day-to-day basis. The one thing that I do like is having the chance to engage in different opportunities that I normally wouldn't have access to being an engineer. So in my previous job, I worked in a lab. I was a graduate student, and a lot of my day-to-day was going to the lab, going to meetings, sitting in the office, and then occasionally going to conferences to present research. I obviously don't do any of that anymore, but instead I am going to New York Fashion Week. I'm going to Japan and traveling around the country. I'm going to different trips that I've hosted or am hosting in the future, and it allows me to just be exposed to new things and new environments. However, like I said, one of the things that I'm really working on is being able to engage with people that can have those intellectually stimulating conversations with me, and also have a similar mindset career-wise, where they may not necessarily be looking to work for someone else, or may just want to like build their own thing outside of their jobs. And it's not that those people are hard to find, it's just that I haven't left my immediate bubble, which is really like my neighborhood, to seek out those people. Also been able to meet a lot of creators that I have looked up to for a long time and have been following for a while, or have just been really inspiring to me like throughout this journey. So I'm really happy and proud of myself for taking the chance on myself when I did, especially when I did it. Because one of the things that I'm starting to recognize with my friends that are still engineers is that kind of just like in those bubbles and either don't want to be exposed to something else or are unable to be exposed to other things. So I just did my makeup so that we could go to the coffee shop so we can edit some YouTube content for next week. So let's go.
Most days I like to be in really quiet environments when I'm working, but sometimes I want to get out every now and again and work in an environment with people that are also focused on their tasks, and it just helps me get things done quickly.
So the coffee shop is always loud, like the music is so loud there, so it makes it a little bit difficult to edit my YouTube videos because I can't always hear what is in my headphones even though I'm wearing them. But I did get some editing done and uploaded a YouTube video for Sunday, and then I also edited some Lemonade content. So I've been posting on Lemonade. I don't know if you guys are on that app. It's kind of like Pinterest with a spin, so I think it's really cute. And I also did answer some emails. I'm on public Wi-Fi, so I will answer my emails that don't require any of my personal information, but anything that requires like my banking info, for example, I will not do in a public coffee shop. Like I'll just do that when I get home. So I'm on my way home, so I'm getting pretty hungry. I have no idea what I'm gonna eat for lunch, so we're gonna figure that out as we go.
Normally around lunchtime is when my PR is delivered, and I didn't get that much this day, so it was just this book.
My leftovers from last night. So if you've watched my a week in my life as a biomedical engineer vlog and you're watching this vlog, then you've probably recognized that my life looks completely and totally different from a year ago. So I want to talk about a lot of things that I feel like were really helpful for me to learn as an engineer and what has translated into my career now as a content creator. First, in graduate school, like I was in charge of my own schedule, even though experiments have to happen at certain times and you have to have meetings and do all these things that are on a certain schedule. It really taught me how to be disciplined and how to set my own schedule and follow through with it accordingly. Because when you're a creator, like there really isn't anyone telling you what to do. Even if you do have a manager, you really have to garner your own time and also stick to your own pace. If you follow any influencers online, then you probably see that they have like their own posting schedule. A lot of the organized creators do, so they will have either set posting time, or they have like different content pieces that they like to post on specific days or at specific times. And you really have to stay diligent with your own schedule because again, like no one's gonna tell you to do it. And sometimes your audience does notice when you miss a post or when you miss a day, especially here on YouTube, everyone notices when you don't post, you know, your weekly video. So I would definitely say that learning that in grad school was really helpful for me and what I do now. I also think being resourceful came in handy in grad school, and it also comes in handy now. So in graduate school, literally no one tells you how to do your thesis. Like, it's just an idea. You have your committee that you can go to for advice because they each have their specialization or an expertise in different parts of your thesis, or in different elements that would come together to be your thesis. But no one has any 4 sure directions that are 1000% going to work. And that's kind of like being a creator, where no one really knows exactly what's going to work, and everyone's content is so specifically different, and everyone's audiences aren't going to respond to the same types of content. So you really have to be resourceful and figure out what works best for you, and also consistently try every single day to make sure that you either stay on top of the algorithm, learn different things about the algorithm, or just network within the community. It isn't as straightforward as going to a building every day and networking with people in the lab, or even networking at conferences. There aren't that many chances, and they come in different shapes and forms in this creator world. But I can definitely say that a lot of the like soft skills from engineering translated into what I do now and have been really helpful. And one major difference that I've noticed between myself and other creators is that I rarely ever get like bogged down when the post doesn't perform like I think it will. And I think that's really because I'm so used to things not working in the lab. Like, if you've ever been a scientist or ever worked in a lab, then you know that you can do an experiment for 3 months straight and nothing could work forever. And I'm so used to that when one of my videos flops or just doesn't do as well as I expect it to, that I just get over it immediately and post another video. Now obviously I'm not perfect, and you know, sometimes I do get frustrated, but I think I get frustrated a lot less than the average creator because I don't really take it personally, because I'm just so used to things not working out in the lab that I kind of expect it to not work out in content creation as well. If you've ever been a creator, then you also have experienced something similar, where you'll post one video, it'll get a ton of views, and then you post like a part 2 to that video and it completely and totally flops, and you're like, what the hell, it's the same video, why is it not being pushed by the algorithm? So I just like don't really care all that much when that happens. I'm like, all right, whatever, let's move on to the next video. So I think there are a lot of things that have been helpful from my engineering career and have translated pretty well in my content creation career. Obviously the two are very different, where one is very creative and the other one is really technical. However, I feel like I use a lot of my technical background and skills to analyze my analytics, right, and use that to guide future posts and videos. I do have like that mathematic background that I can use to be like, okay, I'm gonna try this other thing, and I'm okay with trying 50,000 times before something actually works. I think that also makes me unique with working with different brands too, because I can tell them my stats off the bat of like, this is what you need, this is what works for me, and this is what's going to be successful, or at least most likely to be successful, because again, nothing's guaranteed in this content space. As much as I hated graduate school, as much as I hated the situation I was in, I think some of the skills that I learned have been very critical to my success online, especially my communication skills. So I did take, oh my gosh, I took public speaking courses in undergrad and also in graduate school, and I think that definitely plays a large role in what I do now, because I just talk to strangers on the internet all the time. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's me talking to a camera and there's no one else for a majority of the video. So it's me talking to myself, and the only person that can correct me is myself. So I think having the background and the knowledge and having the tools that I already developed from school has been really helpful in what I do with just speaking to the camera every single day. I did change it to a sweater because it's pretty windy out. I'm gonna go to Target, we're gonna do some shopping, and just pick up a few things here and there.
Lately, I've been trying to limit my Target runs, but somehow I ended up in the game section this time around, and I found this really cool game that I'm so excited to play with a few people in the future. But I generally build walking into my everyday routine because it allows me to keep up with my exercise, and Target is the great way to exercise because they just have so much stuff. You know, going to Target is sometimes honestly a trap. But when I got home, I started this book that has been on my TBR for a long time now, so I finally cracked it open.
This book is so much more engaging and entertaining than the book I was reading this morning. I'm loving it. So it's You've Been Served by Kristen Alicia, and it's basically about this woman who quits her job as a chef to go to law school. And what I like about it, great first opening sentence, very captivating, engaging, snarky. The plot is moving at a great pace. I'm on page 58 and I'm loving it so far, but it is time for me to head out. to the show. I'm gonna grab a quick drink and we'll see how it goes tonight. I have an event I'm going to tonight to support some other creators. I'm really excited about it. I've never been to a live podcast. This is my first like live podcast show. It's my first time like seeing them with their audience, right, and interacting with them in that way. So I'm really excited for tonight.
I'm cracking up. This is so cute. Their TikToks are on screen. How hilarious.
Everybody, put your hands together for Fanita.
Okay, I'd like to introduce our first act of the night. She is a comedian. She has over 2 million followers on Instagram and TikTok. Don't play with her. She is known for making angry meals for her ex-husband. Emphasis on the ex. We have Jasmine W. I need them flashlights one more time.
I learned that move at the strip club, actually.
Just got back from the show. I am so sleepy. It is 10:22 and I can barely keep my eyes open because I'm normally in bed by 9:30. But the show was so good. You can tell they put a lot of thought and effort and energy into it. They also kept the audience really involved and it was really funny. Like I had a really good time. It's really cool to see as a creator other people's audiences show up for them in that way, like in real life with them and support, you know, the different avenues that they do. I had a great time. Like, look at my wristbands. I definitely didn't know what to expect, but I'm really happy that I went. The woman that I met at dinner was really nice. We had an entire conversation. She was a divorcee who was just out having dinner and we like hit it off. Like I talked to that woman for like an hour and a half, but as you can see, my life here in LA is totally different than what I used to do when I was an engineer. It is a Wednesday night. I'm literally getting home at 10:30 or at 10:20 from a show where I get to watch other creators, you know, do their thing and be present in their careers, while I also do the same thing for myself throughout the day. And I have a damn good time while doing it. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully stick around even longer to see how the rest of this move and career change will pan out for me. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.